I like my hamburgers. Yes, I do. And I like my turkey legs and sausage. Yes, I do. Oh, hey, welcome back. Didn't see you there. This is Mini Works. My name is Matt. And well, I'm working on halflings. So I finally finished the champions armies, all the champions armies. So I've been hard at work at building my fourth edition uh, Kings of War army, which is halflings, and Empire Dust. I've been building mostly halflings lately, but you're probably wondering why this box is in front of me. Well, this is how I organize the miniatures when I cut them off the sprue, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. I also I learned a couple things or clarified a couple things about the new fourth edition that I'd like to share with you guys as well. So let me bring you over here, and I'll show you what's going on. All right, I promised I'd show you what's going on here. First and foremost, I did finish all the halflings for champions, and I've decided on a few colors. So I do not like the red and blue. I probably would like a little bit more if it was more of a crimson instead of a bright red. But I decided that this is the only unit that's going to be red and blue in all of the halflings armies that I have. The colors I really like are these two and this one right here for the rifles. I really like the green and blue, or blue and orange, and green and orange, and the green and blue. So I like these three. So when I start building, start painting my Braves, I'm going to do these three different colors. I'm going to have 60 Braves, I believe, 60 Spear Sticks, and 60 what's the other ones? No. 60 Braves, 60 Spear Sticks, and 60 Riflers. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the horses, just not as many. So I'm going to try and do 5 per troop base, or 10 per regiment base of the riflers on the horses, or I'm sorry, on the dogs, which is awesome. But I'm thinking I'm going to do 8 on a regiment base. I might do that just to make things go a little bit faster. And if it doesn't look right, if it looks like I might need a couple more, it really wouldn't be too much to paint up a couple more. I am going to paint them all, but I probably won't put all of them on the base. And with the fourth edition armies, they're not going to all be the same color on the base. They're going to be 3 different colors mixed all together. So it'll look kind of like they're coming from different houses, but they're all on a big base. So, but I'll get to that. There's Terran Blythe, really awesome champions miniature. He is done. He's finished. I love it. I love how he has variable speed in the game. But that's the champions army. I got some spruce sitting over here. I've got lots more on their way. I have not received yet my halfling army with the troll lawnmower and the sorcerer on Alvarez, whatever it is, the dog. And it's got more of these sprues here, which I've cut and organized the majority of these sprues in that neat little box I was telling you about. So if you know anything about Mantic Games and the way they set up their sprues, they have letters for their particular armies or particular units. So these are the dogs, A, B, C, and D, and E. And below that is the rifles and their hands that go together. So like I cut off everything that said I. That's the arm that goes with the rifle, and they match. And as far as the puppy and rider goes, they're all in the same letter D. And I'm one of those old school kind of hobbyists who used to cut everything off the sprue and then fit everything together. So this is what I do to combat that. There we go. Some spears, because we're starting the spearmen. And I'm doing one big regiment of top hats. So with the other army box that's coming, or army that's coming, I will have more sprues with top hats, and I'll have one regiment of top hats, which is going to be cool. And then, of course, I've got heads in here. I've got more bodies with swords and shields. I'm probably going to use these bodies and shields for, these are male and female. That's how I separated them. For the spears, I'm going to swap out all the hand weapons for spears on those guys because what do we have here? Well, we have a good start at the spearmen, spear sticks on foot. And they look pretty cool. So I have 16 put together so far. I have another 14 to build of those to get a 2 regiment bases of spear sticks, which I won't be painting these right away because I have these to paint right away. This here is 60 Braves. There's just hand weapon shields. And there's going to be 2 regiments right here and 1 big horde of Braves. Now, the reason I have them laid out like this and what I'm going to do is because I learned something about 4th, which I told you about at the beginning, that there are 3 different sizes of games in 4th edition. It was in the blog that was mentioned, and I just want to shout out somebody. His name is Tim Cross. He thought they got rid of the ambush size games because they're replacing all the ambush boxes. They're actually calling the smallest size game that you can play as an ambush size game, which is up to 1,000. And Tim, thank you for commenting, man. I really appreciate it. It's really cool when you get questions and comments like that, so you can actually be sure yourself of exactly what it means. So you have ambush games up to 1,000, standard games up to 2,999 points, and you have legendary games 3,000 and beyond. So there's 3 different size games, and the ambush size game is played on a 3x3 or a 4x4, and the standard size, of course, is a 6x4, and legendary is bigger than that because you cannot possibly fit 3,000 plus size armies on a 6x board table. You need a couple mats. You probably need a 10-foot table for that. But I wanted to thank you again, Tim, on the Kings of War Fanatics Facebook page for questioning whether they got rid of ambush or not. They technically did, but they're still calling that size up to 1,000 an ambush sized army, and that's what I'm going to start doing with each one of the armies: Empire Dust, Twilight Kin, and the Halflings. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. That's what I learned because I keep calling it ambush, but I was wondering where I got it from. I was meaning ambush from the previous 3rd edition was an actual system or game size or an actual different game. But according to their blog, it is just the size of the game. So the size of the game that I am building to start with, the Empire Dust, the Twilight Kin, and the Halflings here, is ambush. And I know this is way more than ambush. That's just because I've fallen in love with these guys and their lore and how awesome they are. So I'm really thinking that I'm just going to get them all out of the way right now. And if I need a break, I can work on some Empire Dust. If I need a break from that, I can work on Twilight Kin. But for the most part, this is going to be 2 regiments, and we're going to get a regiment base. Got a couple regiment bases for that. And then this one's going to be a horde right next to it right here. And there's a big horde base. And it's basically just 2 regiment bases put together, but you can see how much bigger, these are just by looking at them. So, but that's all the Braves that I'm going to need for the game, and I figured I'd just get them out of the way. Then there's the spear sticks. I have 16 of these, and normally what I do, I put 8 on a troop base, and I was putting 16 on a regiment base, but I'm dumbing that down to 15 per regiment base or 30 per horde, even though the model count for the base is much higher than that. I just figured I would put 30 per horde. And because I'm going to fill the base with other really cool stuff like a stove, a bread stove, I got a chef that I'm going to put on there. I actually have an arm that I found from one of my other kits that would work. And this is going to be a banner in the back of the horde base. And I'm probably going to possibly do a banner and one of these bases back here. But that's just one arm. So from another kit I had, or I don't know where it came from, to be honest with you. But it fits and the arm is the right size. So it might be a goblin one. I don't know. But there's a head floating around. I gotta put that back there. So, but I'm doing 15 per regiment base. I think that fills it nicely. As you can see, 8 fills this nicely with all the other stuff that's in here or on the base. I think it's really cool. You get to see some of the dynamics of the base with that. And then I built 5 riflers, or wild runners with rifles, and I put them on these bases. And the reason why I put them on these bases is because I wanted the back rank to sit higher. And I will show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to grab this right here. So this is a regiment base for the Cav. That's 125, I think. Yeah. So you put that in the corner there. It raises them up a little bit higher than the ones in the front rank. But it might get too crowded with having 5. So I was thinking about putting 8 instead of all 5, all 10 on a regiment base. I mean, it looks cool. It looks like it's filled up. But if you subtract 1, you can actually turn them. Or if I do 5 in the back and 4 in the front and have some things on the base, it really is a matter of what exactly you want to do with the base. But since I'm doing this type of stuff where I'm putting crates and things in the middle and on the side, I'm doing, bags of grain and, the things you do for dynamic bases, I'm thinking I'm just going to put 8 on a regiment base of the riflers. And I'm going to remove these wooden bases from these right here, which isn't hard. But when I remove them, I'm going to still keep the height. I'm just going to cut these around that lower base. And these will be the ones in the back. And they'll be a little bit higher on the base than the ones in the front. And I'm going to see, I know I have 3 or 4 of these arms. And I'm going to see about making one of these guys on these regiment bases for the wild runners as having a banner as well, because I think it would be really cool to have banners in every regiment that I have, even though they have no function really other than really looking really cool. So, but that's what I got so far for the halflings and how I organize them. The last thing I wanted to show everybody is I'm really proud of myself. I should be. I finally finished, like I said, there's one of the unit of champions, but I finished painting all the champions armies right here. And I think it is so awesome to have them all finished. And when I do demos or show people the game, they'll have their choice of whatever they want to play. And of course, there's more champions going to be coming out, but who knows when that'll be. I know the Zerkali are going to have one. And, who knows is next, to where I'm going to have to stop everything and paint the next champions army, because I'm going to keep up with this, because it is absolutely awesome to see them all finished up, all painted on their cards. It's just really cool feeling. And you get a real big sense of accomplishment when you do that sort of stuff. And the last thing I wanted to do is give a shout out to someone named Tyler. Tyler, the 3D printer whiz. This gentleman has a big selection on eBay, in an eBay store. And he does all kinds of 3D prints of all kinds of different stuff. But I asked him I said, hey, the Zerkali are coming out. It's a new jungle area, jungle map. I need some jungle terrain to go with that. And my gosh, did he deliver? And Now, these are files that he printed up, he found, and they are just awesome. I got the big wolf here. I've got big rock spires and one that's got a gate made of vines and stuff like that. And I just think this is just awesome. It's going to be a marble statue covered in vines and stuff like that. I've got a couple of those. I've got wolf statues and just the beautiful, beautiful terrain, rock with vines, jungle-like terrain. And if you're interested, he has all of these, plus many, many more, which you've seen in my background, of course, of these just gorgeous terrain pieces. And I'll put the link in to his store in the comments below so you guys can check him out. It's called Infini Mini. His name is Tyler. And please, if you get something from him, send him a message saying that MiniWorks Matt sent you. So thank you, man. I appreciate you, Tyler. It's just going to be awesome. I'm going to have a terrain painting party, and we're going to get this done. You know, painting of the champions is actually, it's been a game changer for me, because when I was looking at painting a whole big, gigantic army, and if you're like me, it's a little daunting. But when I finally found champions 4 months ago, I started painting these. So all the champions boxes, I painted them up in 4 months. The motivation that kept me going was not just YouTube videos and doing battle reports and things like that. The game is very enjoyable. I was able to paint 20 to 30 models or less and feel satisfied that I finished something. And I really think that's what's important about champions is you want to try an army, but you don't want to paint up a bunch or a ton. When you're looking in that tunnel, and that tunnel's a lot shorter than your 4th edition armies, you're like, wow, that's doable. I can do that and feel accomplished. Now, doing this, I'm super motivated for, because I already have painted the models. And if I were to do, say, Trident Realms, or if I were to do Northern Alliance, or if I were to do Void Talon or Night Stalkers, I've already done it. I've actually painted it and played the games with it and have color schemes with it. So for me, it has been an absolute joy to constantly be using different colors and using different paint schemes and getting to know the models, meaning that when you first approach a model, you have no idea where everything is on the model. But once you've painted like 15 of them, you're like, okay, yep, that's where the sword is. Yep, that's where the sword hilt is. Oh, this one's got that thing on its backside. Oh, that one's got this little patch on the shirt. Oh, okay, I recognize that. Or these demons, they have 6 different poses with 6 different armaments on their, on their bodies or whatever. But it all started with the Abyss and it ended with the halflings. But I'm super, super proud of myself, and I'm very, very happy to show them off and to bring them to do demos of Kings of War Champions. So it's a huge accomplishment, and it's changed me as a painter. It really, really has, because I really didn't want, in my mind, I didn't want to paint 90 different models all the same. Like, I was dreading painting the rest of the Abyss. And that's just me being honest with myself. You got to really slug through. But it also taught me that I need 3 different armies to work on at the same time. Because once I'm getting a little sick of the halflings, I'll move over to the Empire Dust. I'll paint quite a few of those up, and then I'll rewind and do something different with the halflings, or do the same thing with halflings. But I'm constantly learning, and I'm constantly painting, instead of having those painting lulls that you get sometimes from painting so many miniatures. So, but anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe. Please join our membership if you'd like. You can be a member, and you'll be in your name will be in every single one of our videos. If you're a gladiator, you'll get to be seeing the videos or membership only videos that you get to see 2 weeks, sometimes a month before everyone else. So, and there won't be a ton of them, but there's going to be enough of them. So check that out, guys. And last but not least, ta-ta!